What if mixing your tracks was as easy as turning one knob? Hey, I'm Reagan Ram with OrpheusAudioAcademy.com, helping you make better music and grow a fan base online. And obviously, mixing is a little bit more complicated than turning one knob, but these one knob plugins by Waves are hugely underrated. They're really awesome and can really make your life a whole lot easier and make mixing a whole lot faster when you use these in your productions. But as with any plugin, they're only as good as the user. They're only as good as the mixer using them. And it's important to have a step-by-step process that you follow when you mix if you're looking to produce pro quality results from home, which is why I put together a free mixing checklist, which you can grab in the description below. And it walks you through a step-by-step system that you can follow each and every time, so you know what to do first, second, third, and so on, so that you can pump out professional quality radio-worthy tracks from home and finish more music faster. Again, that's completely free in the description, or go to OrpheusAudioAcademy.com/mixing checklist. All right, so how do we use these plugins? Well, first off, what are they? So you can see they're very simple, and we have different functions. You can put these on your track. So I guess starting up here on the top left, we have brighter, and this does what it says. It makes your track brighter. I don't know if it's using a combination of EQ and saturation or what, but it makes it brighter. Then we have driver here, which is adding some, you can have some subtle saturation, and the more you turn it, the more extreme it gets, all the way up to full on distortion. Then you have louder here, which is a limiter, and so you can add some subtle limiting or extreme limiting here to make things louder and jump out at you. We have filter. I use this on pretty much every track I do, and it does what it says it does. It adds a nice filter sweep, so it's a low pass filter. So here you can see you got full frequency. As you turn it down, you're now filtering out your frequencies. And you also have a resonance here, which is really nice. So it's that little peak right there. So you can add a little peak, a little EQ boost before cutting if you choose to. You can moderate, high, extreme, or none if you don't want any resonance. So that's can really add a lot of character there. Pumper, this is really awesome. This is basically a way to add sidechain compression, but it's synced to the tempo of your track. So you can pump at a quarter rate, all these different rates here. That you can cause your different sounds to duck in volume. So this is really cool. I use this on just about every track I do as well. Then we have one knob pressure here, which is compression. So you can use it subtle just for taming peaks, or do some heavy duty squashing if you want. And then there's fatter here, which allows you to boost the low end, and then wetter here, which can add some reverb. By the way, if you want to grab these plugins yourself, just go to OrpheusAudioAcademy.com/OneKnob. That's my affiliate link. So if you do end up purchasing through my link, I'll earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. And I really appreciate that, as that goes a long way towards helping to support this channel so I can keep this content coming out. I like to combine these all into like one plugin. Right here, Studio Rack. I kind of put these all in, all the different controls are kind of into one plugin. I did a full review on Studio Rack and how to use this. This is really cool. This basically allows you to create any plugin you want by combining the parameters of different plugins, loading them up, and then making macros. Definitely check that video out. I'll have that linked in the description. All right, so that's what the one knob plugins do, but how do you go about using them? Well, I'm gonna share with you 10 different one knob recipes that you can use in your tracks to make your mixing life much easier and faster. But before I cover that, if you've gotten value from this video so far, go ahead and hit the like button and click subscribe as well if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any new tutorials I release. All right, so recipe number one is to get bigger drums with just 2 of these. So here are my drums here. I'm going to turn off Studio Rack here, and we're going to put on one knob pressure and one knob wetter. All right, so I got some drums pulled up here from my free Synthwave drum sample pack. By the way, if you want to grab this, it's completely free. Just click in the description below, or go to OrpheusAudioAcademy.com/starter pack. That is if you're interested in creating like synthwave style drums. So then what we can do is we can add pressure and wetter back to this. And let's hear what this sounds like now. Already right there, you get much bigger drums that cut through the mix. So that is a really cool technique there. Now, awesome one knob recipe number 2 is we can make our whole mix pump and sound loud. And so we can do that with one knob pumper and louder. So I just put these on the stereo out. Now this might be good to maybe put on a bus and route all your tracks except for your drums and your vocals probably, and route everything else, all the other instruments, your bass, your rhythm instruments, everything else to a bus, and then put these on that bus so that your drums and your vocals aren't being pumped. But this can kind of give you a picture of what this sounds like. So we'll turn up the pumper. So you're going to hear, so maybe like between like 2 and 3 would be good if you're going to be this extreme and put on this many tracks. But you can hear without it in, it sounds just kind of bland, but it gives a whole lot more energy when you pull this up. And then of course we can also use one knob louder here as well. And you can see we're not getting too loud over here. We still have some headroom here for like mastering, but it brings the collective volume of everything up, kind of brings up the average volume more. So right, just having a loud peak volume track doesn't necessarily mean you'll have a loud track overall, but using this, everything feels really nice and full and loud without using up all your headroom. And it's pretty cool, just that easy. You can really improve your track just by turning a couple of knobs. One knob recipe number 3 is filter sweeps. And I use this all of the time. Yeah, I'm using a filter sweep here from a one knob. I'm using it in my one knob Army Studio Rack chain here, but I'm using filter here. But I'm using this on all of my rhythm tracks, so like my drum, basically everything except my leads and my vocals. I'm adding in some filter dips right here. We can hear this, it's pretty cool. Imitation hearts, replica minds, illusion of choice, are we? So that is really cool. And we have that resonance on there, right? The moderate resonance, or this is actually high resonance. It creates more of that pew kind of sound, which is really cool. What's going on over here? Different filter. So I use this on basically every single track. It's really cool. I like using it. I like to usually have my verses filtered, and then I have the choruses be full frequency range. One knob filter recipe number 4 is to basically use one knob pumper as sidechain compression. So if we listen to our drums here, and our bass, we hear that bass pumping. So we got one knob pumper here, just like that. So with it in, it makes the song a lot dancier, but it also helps the kick stand out, right? Because the bass and the kick are competing for the same frequencies. So just with this one little plug-in here turned up, now the kick punches through the mix a lot more and just creates a more fun sounding song overall. And of course you can change the rate if you wanted to. This would be more like gated kind of thing. That might be kind of cool, but it's kind of interfering with the beat. Sometimes I like to use this on like synths and chords, so this is kind of a bonus tip here to create like a gated sound. So here's a record. So that'd be cool. So we have that, and we can use another pumper. So we got basically created a rapid 16th note gate. Then we could pull up another pumper here and have that be the quarter note. So now it's like double. So we still hear the chords being basically sidechain compressed, so that again the kick can punch through those chords as well, and it creates that bouncy feeling. But we also got this cool gate going on. So it kind of depends on what you're going for. So one's kind of a mixing tool, another one's kind of like a sound design tool. So that is a pretty cool way to use one knob pumper as well. All right, one knob recipe number 5 is to simply boost your low end with fatter here. So we listen to the bass going on now. So it's like adding more. I don't know if it's just boosting or if it's adding frequencies to kind of the higher harmonics of the bass here. So it's like filling out the space more. Obviously it's a bit extreme, but. So that's pretty cool. We could also try throwing it on our drums if we wanted to. One knob recipe number 6 is to add saturation to your tracks. I like to add saturation to my bass especially, and one knob driver can allow you to do this pretty easily. So if you want your bass to cut through more, have a little bit more edge to it, you can use it like that. So if we put in the other instruments, we can maybe hear better what it's doing. So you right here, that like kind of knocking sound on the bass, you don't really hear that at all. And maybe if that's what you want in your mix, you wouldn't want to put this on, but if you want to hear that a little bit more, we can, instead of just trying to use EQ or boost the volume, we can just add some saturation here with driver. So you can hear how just a little bit goes a long way, and that's pretty good right there. Now it's cutting through the mix a whole lot better. Right, one knob recipe number 7 is to use pressure to quickly add compression, right? Compression can take some time to dial in, right? You gotta figure out the attack, the release, threshold, ratio, and all that. But here's just one knob. You can quickly add just a little bit of compression or like really squash something. So if you want to just take out the highs or really squash something, it depends on how you turn the knob here. So we'll listen to it here on this little pluck here. So already, just like that, you can hear it bring up like the reverb and the lower tones up. It's more consistent. So if you really want to like kind of breathe and pump there, you can really crank that up here. So I kind of like it just like down here. It just kind of helps it cut through the mix a little bit better there. And while we're working with this little art pluck here, let's make it a little bit brighter while we're at it. And that brings us to one knob recipe number 8. You can easily make anything just a little bit brighter here with one knob brighter. So let's try that here. In there, you can hear it's helping it cut through the mix a little better. Now, you can also use one knob as a way to quickly add reverb to something. So I got all these effects here. Maybe I want to just throw a little bit of reverb on them to help them not be so dry and just blend into the mix a little better. And rather than setting up some kind of complicated reverb and figuring out time and pre-delay and all that kind of stuff, let's just throw one knob wetter on here. All right, so we got this effects here, so we'll turn up the wetness as it goes. All right, this could even be cool, something cool to like automate in. So maybe I keep it like right here. Something like that. So that is really cool. Really easy way to add reverb to something very quickly. One knob mixing recipe number 10 is to add some clean limiting to a track. So maybe limiting is kind of good to add to very dynamic tracks where you don't want those peaks getting too loud and clipping. So maybe we want to add a little bit of this to our drums. So we got our drums soloed here. Right, that'd be a little bit too extreme, but if we just put a little bit of limiting on here, it can be really nice. And you can hear it's making them a little bit louder as well. So maybe if you just want to be a little bit louder without just boosting volume, this can be good. But it doesn't do too much here. So again, with everything in the mix. So it just helps bring those drums a little bit more forward there very quickly. Again, just turning one knob. So what do you think about these? Which one of these one knob plugins was your favorite? Leave a comment below. Do you think you'll be using these in your projects? So if you want to grab these plugins for yourself, just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/oneknob and you can get your hands on these and start trying these out for yourself. Also, don't forget to grab my free mixing checklist in the description below. This will also help you finish more songs faster because you'll have a proven step-by-step mixing process that you can follow each and every time you go to mix a song. With that, drop a like if you found this video helpful and watch the video on the screen right now if you want even more help with finishing more pro quality music faster. With that, have an awesome day and keep creating.